Taurus, there is a lot of activation going on here. First three cards I pulled, all major arcana. So clearly there's a lot of death and rebirth, re-examining power structures, power dynamics now during Aries season to set you all up for your birthday season, for Taurus season soon approaching, okay? It's interesting, Taurus, when I was channeling, the first thing that came through was just this big bowl of pasta, which is like very Taurus. It's always funny, the messages I get from source. And I'm pretty sure during Pisces season, I saw a drumstick in terms of like relating to our legs and leaning out. Also, I just think that you are going to need a lot of carbs or a lot of energy for what's to come. I also just feel intuitively you guys are just working a lot, or that you're rediscovering parts of yourself where it's like, ooh, it's like death and rebirth, death and rebirth, death and rebirth. You're just like cycling through so much. And remember, we haven't even gotten to eclipse season yet, which will be during Taurus season. So I think that's why Source is saying, make sure your energy reserves are high. No, it doesn't mean you have to eat pasta necessarily, although why would you not want to? But making sure that you're getting enough rest, that your nutrition is on point, because there's going to be a lot of energy moving sooner than later. There was also a figure kind of like a statue looking down with a sword pointing all the way. And it's like the sword, it kind of traced all the way down to the root and the sacral chakra. And it had the symbolism of the 10 of Swords tarot card, where it's like these old versions of yourselves are not working anymore. They're not going to take you to the next level. And especially I think how people respond to you and how people are looking at you. It's like, oh, like, I don't even recognize you, or it's like you're now standing in your power more. You're not taking people's energy or their projections anymore. You're standing firm. And I think some people are also going to want to leave a job where you're like, this, I'm done. Like, you are not affording me. This is not worth my time. I deserve way more. And that brings us into our cards. So this one fell out on its own, the Emperor reversed. And then we also have the Devil and the Moon. Yeah, that's a vibe. So I want to first talk about this Emperor reversed in the Devil, where power dynamics, authority, obsession, literally being chained to something that is no longer serving you, whether that's a job, whether that's a belief, whether that's a marriage. Again, if we're talking about the Emperor reversed, this is truly a masculine energy that is out of whack, that is being controlling or manipulative. It can also relate to a father figure that maybe there are still lingering fear or traumas around your father, or a coach or a teacher or someone of authority from when you were younger that is now tying you down and is not maybe able to take you to the next step. I do think just intuitively, like, it's a boss or someone that you're working for, whether it's a company, whether it's someone that owns the place where you work. It could also be you showing up as your own boss, and you need to re-examine how you show up. But a lot of this is like, I'm done. Like, I'm now going to remove this chain. And that's the big thing with the Devil, is that these chains are not tight around the humans. They could just literally take the chains off and allow themselves to be free. It could also mean that you're dealing with an Aries or a Capricorn that's no longer aligned. You're like, I'm going to let you stay over there. I'm going to trust my intuition and blow this popsicle stand and get out of here before eclipse season. Ooh, yes, the Moon, eclipse seasons, Taurus. The Moon is exalted in Taurus. There's going to be a lot going on during this eclipse season. So I don't want you to be staying in a situation where it could potentially be like a powder keg later on. Also with the Moon, it's very poignant that there might be hidden information or secrets or people's true character finally coming to light, or you're like, oh, how come I just never saw this before? Or maybe it just becomes clear for you. Also, the Moon can just represent hidden enemies. And so it's like, these people that I'm working for or working with, I intuitively know that I'm going to keep my cards close to my chest, or I'm going to apply for other jobs, but not tell them. They'll find out when they need to. Really trusting your intuition. Remember, we still have Jupiter and Neptune in Pisces throughout all of Aries season. So there really is going to be a lot of activation around that. And part of me is like, be careful who you trust, Taurus. Like, really honor yourself, making sure that you're your own first priority right now. Because with that Jupiter-Neptune conjunction, it can be a lot of people spreading lies, falsities, trying to tell you sweet nothings, to paint this fantasy, this allure to keep you. So maybe, for example, you're like, I'm now leaving this relationship, this city, this office. It's no longer aligned. But then the boss is trying to manipulate you by saying, no, it'll get better. We'll give you a raise at the end of the month. Trust in your intuition, okay? I know I'm talking a lot about like career and money, but that seems like a very big part of this. But of course, it can relate to how you deal with yourself and your masculine energies of just working nonstop and thinking that's going to get better eventually. It's like, no, we need to really reestablish this, and really looking at the masculine energy or the men in your life to see how that's affecting your intuition, or maybe just something you need to like separate for a bit and just take some time alone to examine how you identify with power and control, so that you can come back with a clear scope of mind. And while you're dealing with all this, also making sure that you're getting adequate rest, honoring your nutrition, so that we have the energy and stamina for everything that's about to change. Because for some of you that end up leaving a stagnant or unaligned dynamic, the energy that's going to be required of you to move through all of this will be needed, so that you can land in a certain situation a lot better. And I keep hearing contracts as well, and I think that might also be a thing. Like maybe you're about to renew a contract or to sign a contract, making sure that, again, it's working out best for you, and that you're not allowing other people to persuade you into doing something that you no longer want to do. I think some of you are just like, I'm done, I'm doing my own thing, period. Yes, I'm going to pull one card for the clarity around the moon, and then I'll pull out other cards. So a clarity card for the moon, please. Clarity card for the moon. They're saying really pay attention to the words that people are telling you, and kind of like that Freudian slip, or if they say like a certain name or something else and you're like, oh, that wasn't an accident, or that wasn't a joke, that's how you truly feel. So really paying attention, or even just like typos. Sometimes there's going to be something that comes through and you're like, oh, that's what you truly meant, that wasn't a mistake. I think that one wants to come out. So the Three of Cups. Honoring joy. Are you having fun? Are you able to celebrate? Do you have time to rest? Which is a really nice counterbalance to the Emperor and the Devil, the Moon and the Three of Cups. And this can also mean for me as well as like visualizing, channeling, getting clear on the amount of pleasure, the relationships, the connection, the joy. What sparks joy? Tuning into that. So as you're making this transition, it's a lot easier to attract these situations, because you're not just going to leave something, a belief, a situation, and then just be open. You know exactly what you're wanting to attract moving forward. It's like community, fellowship, better friendships, better relationships, maybe an office environment or a company that is like a family, that there's so much love while you're creating, not that long hours comes down to dollars and cents. You want to be in a very supportive, emotionally fulfilling environment, team, collaboration, whatever it is, partnership. Yeah, that feels good. That just feels like my whole body just relaxed a little bit. So that's definitely, I think, what some of you really want to focus on is the people around me in any capacity. I want to be able to celebrate their wins. They can celebrate my wins. We can all enjoy this together. Travel keeps coming through again. Yeah. I think some of you just like need to get away a little bit. Maybe take or plan a trip for your birthday. That seems correct. Yeah, the universe is nodding. So a trip definitely sounds good. Even just like a weekend away, or exploring a different part of your city, or just like getting a hotel room, something where you can just decompress and go inward would be great. Or like going somewhere with a friend or a loved one. And it does just seem like some of you are in like that magical dark night of the soul, because I keep seeing black. It's like that cocoon phase where you're just having to put in a lot of faith and trust that leaving certain dynamics, even though it may be scary, or that there's not going to be stability, which is a very big theme for Taurans of wanting to feel safe and secure, we need to trust and go to the other side of that wall of fear to know that this next level, this next expansion, your solar return, your birthday is going to provide a lot more blessings, okay? Yeah, and sand keeps coming through, which is beautiful in terms of like when I think of sand and the wind, it's like it never really stays for too long. It's like it goes, connects, and the wind takes it somewhere else. So, and I said this near the beginning as well, I just feel like there's a lot of death and rebirth, level up, level up, level up, potentially more than you ever felt before. And that really is that North Node in Taurus transit. So it may just feel like you're completely stepping away from what you've known or what you're used to from your entire life and just trusting. It also kind of reminds me, if you ever watch Days of Our Lives, there's always like that hourglass. It's like, as the world turns, so are the days of our lives. Like you're just having to trust the process and allowing the universe, allowing these winds to guide you and to move you along. You're not meant to stay in one place for too long, it seems like. And that's going to obviously be in different parts of your life, but trusting the process and letting go definitely seemed to be a vibe. And I also kind of got the scent of lavender just now. So maybe if you were like needing to just calm yourself and just being like, this is a lot to take on in like a 11-minute general Tarotscope, calm your mind. Maybe go to the spa, relax as you're consistently up leveling. That could also just be like a good weekend getaway, is going to the spa and just relaxing and allowing that intuition to guide you. Okay, 2 more cards, please. Ooh, I think some of you are definitely going to be on camera, or you're going to want to put yourself out there in whatever way, shape, or form. Because I saw like these big, beautiful like box light and a camera looking right at me. I was like, oh, like lights, camera, action, baby. So for those of you who are artists or creatives or content creators, it's like the world wants to see you. So making sure that you're putting yourself out there to amass more success, clients, money, whatever it is you want, okay? Or even just getting like camera ready, like putting your best face forward when you are interviewing or going on dates or just showing yourself in your community. It's like people are noticing you right now. Yes, the universe is nodding. It's like this giant tripod is like following me around. I was like, okay, I get it. They're gonna be showcased. Good. Okay. Yeah. Knight of Swords with the 7 of Swords. I think it's going to be increasingly clear who is your friend and who you can trust and who is not. And I think for some of you who are like, I knew this person was shady, I'm getting out of here. It's almost like the universe is saying, how many times do you need to be burned or hurt by someone or something? And this can also be yourself, Taurus, your own mind turning against you, of being like, how many times do we have to go through this before you allow yourself to get out of here? And I do think that for some of you, it's like, it might be a little bit of chasing your tail. It's like you're trying to get away, but then you keep going back in circles and circles and circles. So whatever that fear, that doubt is, and that could be linked to, again, childhood, father figures, authority figures of either not being enough, you can't succeed, if you do this, it's never gonna work, maybe a potential ex-lover, whatever that is, working on that, channeling the joy, leaning on people that you can trust is going to help so that you're not just going in circles. And really, again, watching for those words or those little slips from other people to be like, oh, that doesn't feel right in my body, or I don't think that I can trust this individual. And again, this could be yourself, like self-sabotaging the next layer of expansion. That could just be not leaving because your mind is like, well, what if? Well, what if it gets better? What if you make 10 times the amount of money you made in a year from now? What if you meet new friends, a new community that's gonna love and support you? What if you end up on a Netflix show and have so many more opportunities around the corner? So yes, it's clear that we want this next level to happen quickly, but we really need to identify where maybe we are self-sabotaging, where we're running away from the problems, or where we need to take accountability for what we've allowed into our lives up until this point. So a little bit of work to do, Taurus, but it's all just creating the foundation for your season, for your birthday, for the next 12-month cycle that you're about to enter into starting on your solar return, right? On your birthday. So all good things. It's just kind of like going through the eye of the needle right now, or really birthing a new version of yourself that is really what you've always meant to become. That's all. So That is the general reading for this Aries season. If this reading hit the nail on the head for you and you want to say thank you, all tips and donations to support content creation here at Stillwater Alchemy are always greatly appreciated. The link for our PayPal can be found in our bio. Currently, our books are closed for one-on-one readings, but they will be opening in April. So stay tuned for that announcement. And please feel free to tag and share this Tarotscope with a fellow Taurus who could benefit from the message. Thank you all so much for watching. Have a wonderful Aries season, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.